The Survivor Specialists, Phil, John, and McKenna are back with another defining episode. And today we are talking about the defining episode for Angelina Keeley. Tribal Lines Are Blurred. Episode number 10 from Survivor David vs. Goliath. And again, like I said, these could all be intermixed. This episode for Christian is stellar. This shows off this is where he beats Alec in the challenge. This is where he doesn't stop talking. This is where we see a lot of his strategic chops and his strategic gameplay. But we ultimately didn't want to be picking two episodes for the same person, or I mean, two people for the same episode is what I meant to say. So this is Angelina's episode. This is the one that people talk about. It has the GIF, right? This episode does have the GIF, and it has the rice negotiation, which Jeff broke almost immediately. But like, this is Angelina at her most Angelina. So here we go.
Yeah, it's interesting when you do this, especially with it being the double episode. Angelina isn't in a large portion of it, but this is where Angelina is really kind of coming into her own. She's replacing Gabby in the David's alliance. She does the nice negotiation, and she comes out and changed Survivor forever. Literally. In a way that all of us still deal with every single season since.
She gave us Jeff stabbing a bag of rice with a knife.
So here's what I have to say about this, right? What I love about how Angelina does this is it's so in character for her.
Yes.
She wants to be the provider in the way that she knows how to be the provider. She wants to be the strongest person in the room, even when she's standing next to Johnny Mundo. Like, she wants to be the person you look at. But she also is very intelligent and very calculating. And she wants to be making the right decision for what's going to happen. So when she says, I think we can do this, and they're like, sure, Angelina, let's hear what you have. She thinks through exactly what she would offer, to the point where Jeff is so taken aback by it that the only thing he could possibly think to retort with is, how about we do one person has to sit out and give up their chance at immunity, which she does. But she comes at Jeff with so much that Jeff has no idea how to respond. He can't say that's not enough because there's no way Jeff remembers what she said. And so for me, I think that this is one of the defining moments of any character in the show where she does that. And I think what has made it so brutal moving forward past this is Jeff's offering it up a lot to them, but it's a manufactured moment, right? He's always offering to them saying, you don't have enough, right? This will get you through to the end of the game. But they're not desperate. They're not in some broken space. And it's not actually telling us anything about the characters on the show because, yeah, you might get somebody who says, I'm going to sit out, or I'll do it, guys, or what if we try to negotiate? It's no longer a negotiation. We see everything you need to know about Angelina in this one scene, and it can't be replicated. And it's annoying that they keep trying to replicate it. Stop replicating. It's never going to work. Angelina gave you gold. Don't try to get more gold from it. You're turning the gold, whatever. I don't know. Whatever. The Statue of Liberty used to not be green. That's what it feels like.
They're using her gold to gold plate things. That's
exactly
where we were going.
Exactly.
It's also like she's throwing herself on the line for her tribe too, to use that as a move. Like, these people now who are sitting out currently are the move.
Did McKenna just break up for you, John?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, McKenna, you just broke up for us. Okay.
I know. I'm aware.
Okay. What did you say?
That just like she's throwing herself on the line for her tribe, where like it's more these people sitting out. It's not a move for them. They're not they are sacrificing something, but it's not as like impactful as this moment.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this rice negotiation is that Jeff says, okay, we can get this rice if you if one person is willing to give up their shot at immunity. Immediately after, Angelina just sat out of a challenge to have nachos.
Yeah. It's so good to have this back to back.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's also what's cool though is Angelina, Carl, and what is it? Nick, right? I think. Yeah. They all sit out for nachos and they just house the nachos. And it's because that challenge was on for 5.5 hours. They're sitting there with nothing for a while. but it also shows like Angelina was forward thinking, right? Everybody wants to just kind of be like, Angelina's a character. Angelina didn't really know what was going on. Angelina was looking at this saying, guys, we're in a little bit of trouble here. And I think that shows a lot of her personality too. She might have a personality that's just too much for the Survivor game to ever win it. But she certainly also is going to be fun no matter what, because she's going to be trying to think of something that nobody else on the island is thinking of. Oh, I'm cold. I need that jacket. Oh, we're running out of rice. Why don't I try to negotiate with Jeff? She brings it up again at Tribal Council.
Sure.
They're getting ready to blindside Carl.
Brings it up again at several Tribal Councils.
Yeah. And she brings it up of like, I did this. This was great. Whatever. And it's like, you forget just how good she was with that. But then also when she sits out for the nachos, she's like, I'm never going to win that challenge. I'm not going to waste my time doing that.
Well, I thought she was such like a lot better of a challenge competitor than she was. I'm pretty sure she lost every challenge that we watched in these 3 episodes of David versus Goliath.
Like finished last. Yeah.
Finished last, or like her team for the reward, what she did not get it. And I'm like, we had 4 reward challenges, 4 immunity challenge, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
If she only doesn't go to 2 tribal councils the entire season.
Yeah.
Which actually might be the case for almost, it's her, Mike, and Nick. I think all only don't go to 2 tribals. Because of that disaster Jabeni tribe. And so they only go to not 2 tribals. Everybody else has a lot of time off. Yeah, Angelina's not very good at challenges, which I think would be her problem, because she is on that tribe with that seems like it's the weakest. It doesn't have Jonathan, it doesn't have Joe. It has strong-ish competitors, but it doesn't have Ozzy either. So I feel like that's the tribe that's probably in the most danger. And because she's not very good at challenges, and because she's kind of like a little bit more abrasive, she could be in trouble. But the other thing I want to talk about with this episode, though, is not just the rice negotiation. This is right after she gets blindsided. Now we're going to be talking about Breath versus Search next time. When we talk about Christian, that won't be the next episode, but 2 episodes from now, when we talk about Christian, when we talk about that episode, she gets blindsided there. So she comes back and she's pissed, and she's really, really fired up when she gets back on to the beach. And I love that we're getting like the Angelina on the offensive and on the warpath, because it also shows like Angelina gets blindsided once. She's not okay with just saying, it's all right, guys, we'll figure it out. She's going to be in your face until she figures it out, to the point where she thinks she's replaced Gabby and the Davids. But what's really happened is Gabby and Mike and all of them have teamed up just to blindside the people who thought they were in the majority of the Davids.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Phil, because she's coming off of not just being blindsided with like Dan going home in the last boot, but it's also, she had the Goliaths turn on her when they panicked about everything, because that's where they thought the votes were going. So she was really shown essentially what I believe. And now I'm getting my episodes mixed up because
she gets blindsided also in the Johnny Mundo, because John going home, she was not expecting. She loses John and Dan. Now she's pissed.
Yeah, but no, sorry, I was trying to refer to the point where Gabby mentions at a tribal council that somebody on the Goliath has to be the bottom, and I actually think it is in Breadwith Search that happens, and Angelina realizes it's her, and she immediately is like, okay, I'm pissed, and I'm going to go start talking to the Davids.
Well, yeah, because here at the top of this episode, Angelina is throwing Kara and Alec under the bus with their votes for her. She would be throwing Allison under the bus, but Allison did not have a vote at that tribal council before. But throwing them under the bus, being like, well, they voted for me just to like appease you guys. They don't really meet that relationship isn't really there. So like, let me work with you and go forward. She really has this, I'm on the bottom of everything, and just scrapes by, moves forward. And like, not that they're not thinking about her, but she's just like not the biggest fish to fry, which I think is also very, it's a good game to play when you aren't the biggest fish to fry, because you go under the radar and can make certain moves, like needle your way into an alliance.
But she needs to figure out how to argue it
Yeah.
and be like, I'm actually playing a good game without then making people worried, right? Like she can't
Right.
do what Sierra Dawn Thomas did, where it's like, actually, Sierra's playing pretty good. We should vote her out, but she also can't play the same game she did the last time. Otherwise, she's done.
Right.
The interesting thing about Angelina, though, is she's somewhat of an abrasive character, and we had just talked about Emily and how she like kind of overcame that trajectory throughout her season. Angelina doesn't, but she never comes off as the most abrasive character,
Well,
and that's, I think,
Natalie
a really
Cole is
fine
on the
line to toe.
What'd you say, McKenna?
Natalie Cole is on the season.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end of the season, that Angelina definitely starts to become that person. But at this point, Angelina feels like a person like Blake and I don't think this is going to come out before we talk about our everything you need to know about Angelina. So when we talk about Angelina for that, we talked about how like we know a lot of Angelinas. We don't know a coach, right? I don't know a Natalie Cole. Although I've met Natalie Cole, I don't know another Natalie Cole. I know plenty of Angelinas. Like this is a real person. I think that's why she doesn't come across as super abrasive, because she is the type of person that you could meet anywhere. And she is a very nice person. Like that's the other thing.
Sure.
She's just super driven. And it's this mentality of, if you're not giving me the credit that I am due, I'm going to let you know. And that's going to be the problem. And I love how she goes and is aggressive. I ultimately think, though, Angelina plays an emotional game. Playing an emotional game in 50 is not going to be a recipe for success.
I wonder also, without having the Goliath term attached to her, how she plays and how that impacts her social, strategic, etc. games. Because, bartering with Jeff, yes, that is something that she studied and things like that, and they need the rice. But, being that business social kind of, Goliath, does she do that in 50? Well, now, yes, because, she has that big moment. But like, if she didn't before, I don't know if she would do it again in 50. I think she would calm that little like bravado, I guess, a bit down because she's learned.
You do realize that this is the woman who is posting Instagram photos of, I brought my jacket this time, right? Like, I don't know, McKenna.
I'm sorry, Angelina. I do not follow you on Instagram.
Oh, God, man. Well, she doesn't follow you
Wow.
either, McKenna.
Yeah.
No, nobody follows
Yeah.
me.
But I think that actually brings up a very good point of Angelina. And a lot of the concerns that people might have towards her going into 50 is, are we getting Angelina the game player, or are we getting Angelina the character?
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited to see Angelina the game player. I'm excited to see Angelina the character too, but I also want her to. We talked about it in the Brant Steele, right? With Blake loving Angelina and everything, right? You want that character to go far in the game, and if it's just Angelina the character, that's someone people can find expendable. If it's Angelina the game player, Angelina the person who positions herself and knows when to pivot and knows when to talk and can succinctly like lay out plans for negotiations and things like that, that's a valuable asset to people, and that's someone who can go further in the game.
But I made the argument that the version of Angelina that wins Survivor is not the version of Angelina I want to see on this season. So please give me the Angelina that I've been craving. Like that's how I feel. And I feel like this episode hits so many layers of what you want, right? Like the challenge gif is so funny, the rice negotiation, how she's going at people, the way she's voting, the way she talks at these tribal councils. One of my favorite moments is when, after they eat all the food, Allison is puking and Mike's like, look at that. And Angelina goes, what is she doing? Yoga? Like it kills me, because she's not being funny. She really thinks Allison's doing yoga. And it's like, no, she's barfing her brains out. And it's just, it's like those kind of, again, it's Angelina is different than a lot of people on the show, because you're laughing with her. You're not laughing at her, but she's unintentionally funny. Whereas like Christian is intentionally funny when he's funny. Like Coach is intentionally being who Coach is. Angelina is so unintentional in everything she says that it actually makes it all the better and makes it so much more fun and enjoyable to watch. And that's the version. I hope we get that the entire season, whether she's the first boot or she wins it. I hope we get the unintentionally funny and enjoyable Angelina.
I mean,
I don't think there's a way we go ahead,
John.
McKenna.
I was going to say, well, she has had some life development
Yeah.
since playing. So becoming a mom is like very different mindset while playing too, I feel, because now it's like, oh, my kids are going to watch this at some point. Maybe that has calmed her down a little bit from the character, and we might get a hybrid of like kind of everything we've been discussing. Someone that's maybe a little bit more easier to work with, but also all right, I'm back. I glitched. A little bit easier
No,
to
you're
work
good.
with, and also has that strategy.
I
Yeah.
think, and this is something that we never want to really admit at this point, we have to remember David versus Goliath is 7 years old now. And a lot can change in 7 years.
Yeah.
But to Phil's point, Angelina is unintentionally funny. I think we just get Angelina on the screen and we're going to get that still.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I think it's just natural because it is how she talks. And I think, yeah, she might mellow out a little bit because of becoming a mother and everything like that. But at the same time, she's still Angelina.
Oh yeah.
Like she's still going to present herself that way, and the way we see in this, right? Like she's still going to be using her chin to hold on to ropes in a challenge in an attempt to reach a little bit further. She's still going to be like, "Hey, I know how to think this through. I'm going to present it to you, and you guys are going to listen to me because I'm Angelina." Like we're still going to get those aspects of Angelina that we see in this episode. It's just what else are we getting in addition to that? I think is the big question.
I just hope she doesn't come out and play a character, right?
Yes.
I hope she
Yeah,
stays
like-
what she was, because again, she's posting the Instagram of, I brought my jacket this time. Like, don't come out being, oh, I brought my jacket. This is that. Like, you can have that line, but don't become the caricature of what we like. We already like who you are, and this episode shows that off. This is the longest episode we did for this series, right? It was 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was the full double episode. Angelina is so much fun. I mean, first of all, David vs. Goliath just in general is so damn enjoyable. It's insane. But Angelina is so much fun to watch throughout this whole thing. I don't want her to come out being like, I need to be a step above what I was last time. It's almost like Tony sprinting in Game Changers. Like, just play. Just be you. That's what we want.
And I think that's probably what I'm getting at is like, I fear that the character is going to be there and not, her as a person.
I don't think it's an issue of her being a character. I think it's the issue of it becoming a Flanderization, right? Like the idea of like what the Simpsons did with Ned Flanders, to where they just like they emphasize certain traits of a person, and like that's all the character becomes. I don't think it's the fear that Angelina is going to be a character, because we expect Angelina to be a character. The fear is that there's nothing besides the character, and besides the negotiation, or besides the jacket of it all, right? Like if Angelina does go far enough into the game and there is still a rice negotiation in this season, is it going to be like, is production just going to lean in it too much that they force the Flanderization of Angelina? Or is it going to still feel like an organic moment?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? It depends if she's coming in with plans or not. But
Mm-hmm.
all I know is that in this episode, Jeff is saying, all right, everybody, let's get to it. And she goes, Jeff, actually. And like the music cut, everything. If they do that with the editing and everything, I'm okay with that. Like, the fact that they are starting to play the music of, all right, let's go. And then they stop it so Angelina can put the finger up. Like the editors didn't have to start playing the music as if this was going to be normal. That I'm okay with. But I do agree with you, John. I don't want them to just highlight, and for her to highlight just those traits for herself, because look, the 36-year-old version of Angelina doing that is probably not going to be as entertaining as the 28-year-old version of Angelina was doing that.
Agreed.
So we have one more episode left for David vs. Goliath. Again, we said it already, and it's going to be the Christian episode. It's going to be Breath First Search. In that episode, I'm also going to tell you why Davey being robbed from this season is just so brutal. Like the fact that he's not on 50 really makes me so mad. I understand you don't want to do too many people from the same season, but God, Davey is such a great character and so much fun to watch. But next we're going to be doing Go for the Gusto, episode number 3 of Survivor 42. Jonathan's episode. Look, that might be a short episode. I'm going to preface with that right off the bat. But at the same time, you ready for my notes for that? I'm going to give a preview of my notes for that. Jonathan in this challenge is so insane. He does the ladder and lands every bag. It's insane how good he is. He does nothing else. Those are my notes for that episode. So honestly, that could have been the episode if you want. McKenna has the same thing going.
And iPads were.
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about Jonathan, but look, that is one of the most memorable moments from the new era, so it would be unfair to not talk about that. Honestly, that's one of the most memorable challenge performances in the history of the show. So we will be diving into that next time, and then we only have 2 episodes left after that, and they're both old school air quotes when we talk about Christian and Rick Devon. So thank you all so much for listening. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a patron, patreon.com/thespecialist. And we will see you in a couple days with another defining episode for Jonathan Young.